Frank Warren did an interview with Sky Sports, and he revealed that Oleksandr Usyk has asked for an exception to his WBO mandatory, which is Joseph Parker. The WBO ordered it. It's supposed to happen next. Never mind what the Saudis are saying. It's supposed to happen next. The Saudis are just financiers, unless they have some kind of influence over the sanctioning bodies behind the scenes. But ordinarily in boxing, when a financier says, I'm not interested in a particular fight, that doesn't mean the fight can't happen. Somebody else can put the money up to make it happen. It just means they don't want to spend their own money on it. The WBO ordered Usyk to fight Parker. Bear in mind, Usyk's coming off a title defense, also a unification against Daniel Dubois in their rematch. So, yeah, he's not going to want to think about boxing right now. He's going to want to take his time. Does he even want to fight on? Does he want to have one more fight? And if he does, will it even be a serious fight? Or will it be some type of exhibition or novelty bout? And you can forgive him if it was, if he's going to retire after that. There's been, talk about him potentially fighting Jake Paul in MMA. So I understand Usyk not wanting to be pressured right now, but I also understand Joseph Parker's position, Ajit Kabayel's position, and a host of other heavyweights who've been patiently waiting for their title shot, which several of them deserve because they earned it. Frank Warren says Usyk has applied for some exemption to give himself more time before deciding whether he's going to fight Joseph Parker or vacate the belt. I don't think they should give him more time. I think he needs to be stripped to the WBO belt. And you guys know I've got the most admiration for Oleksandr Usyk, but my priority is always what's best for the sport of boxing. And what's best for the sport of boxing, particularly in the heavyweight division, is if we keep these belts active. Even though this has been a golden age of heavyweight boxing. The previous golden age was the 90s. The previous golden age before that was the 1970s. Okay? This has been a golden age. This Joshua, Partridge, Wilder, Usyk era. But unfortunately, one of the things that has marred this particular age in the heavyweight division is too many damn rematches. Too many. And that has led to the likes of Luke Partridge, aka Tyson Fury, not having many different opponents on his world title resume. This has led to Oleksandr Usyk not having many different opponents on his world title resume. He's had 6 world title fights at heavyweight against the same 3 guys. That is not comparable to a Lennox Lewis resume, a Muhammad Ali resume, a Joe Louis resume, a Larry Holmes resume. As much as I think Usyk in a fantasy matchup could beat some of those guys, unfortunately, because of all the rematches, he's only got 3 names in heavyweight title fights that he's faced. So we need to put a stop to this. We need to make up for lost time. Obviously, it's not all Usyk's fault with regards to rematches going on in the heavyweight division. I get that. But rules are rules. Some of it was his fault because he signed away his right not to have a rematch when he fought Anthony Joshua, when he was mandatory for Joshua's title. Maybe it was for extra money. I'm not sure. Several fighters have done this since the Klitschko era. Signed away their right as mandatory to not have a rematch clause for the champion in the contract. Traditionally, a mandatory challenger, if he beats the champion, can just sail off into the sunset. There's no rematch clause, okay? Usyk agreed to one, and that's why he had to fight AJ again after he beat him. The Partridge rematch, okay, it was undisputed. I can forgive for that. But also, Partridge messed Usyk about for 2 years. That stagnated the division. So, long story short, I'd like to see Usyk stripped to the WBO belt. And if he's not willing to fight Ajit Kabayel sooner rather than later, the WBC belt too, because these mandatories are long overdue, folks. And after that, it will be the WBA. He doesn't currently have a mandatory challenger with the IBF. There was talk of Derek Chisora maybe being it, but they're actually setting up a final eliminator between Ajagba and Sanchez, a rematch between Ajagba and Sanchez. Last I checked anyway. And that will produce a mandatory challenger. So, yeah, as much as I admire Usyk, the sport of boxing, and in this case, the heavyweight division, needs to keep those belts moving. That's my take on it. Give me your take in the comment section below. Usyk claiming an injury to buy himself some time. And before I go, make sure you check out my Moses Itauma Dylan White film study on Patreon. It's 1 hour of me going through actual footage from both of their fights and pointing out various technical flaws and proficiencies in both men. Will this be liftoff for Moses Itauma, or will the young contender be exposed as another pretender by the old warhorse Dylan White? This film study may persuade you one way or the other. Also, check out this other recent film study I've done, Oleksandr Usyk Signs of Decline, where I go through footage of some of his fights, including his most recent win over Daniel Dubois, and point out what I believe to be indications of Father Time catching up with him. As counterintuitive as that might sound to some, given the fact he stopped Dubois quicker in the rematch than he did in the first fight, but there are reasons for that, which I go into. So make sure you check these videos out. You can access them along with previous film studies I've done and hundreds of hours of other exclusive boxing content on my Patreon page via the boxing tier, the Boxing Brotherhood. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time. It's cheaper than a cup of coffee. You know the routine by now. All the links are in the description box below. I'll see you over there.